This video is brought to you by Miniature Market. Thousands of board games, discounted prices, miniaturemarket.com.
Hello my friends, it's the Game Boy Geek here. Earlier this year, Cosmos came out with an escape room style series of games called Exit the Game. It came out with 3 different games, each of them taking between 1 or 2 hours. Well, that system got nominated and won the Kennerspiel des Jahres, which is essentially the connoisseur or gamer's version of the Game of the Year, the Spiel des Jahres, in Germany. And I agreed with that decision. I thought it was well worthy of winning that, and I really love this system. Now, the system as a whole is one of my favorite escape room style systems for the home. It's either tied for the top or just a tad below maybe Escape Room the Game, but it's very good, and I love this system. But there's starting to be a lot of different systems out there, and within the system, there's many different ones that you can buy. So it's starting to be overwhelming for consumers like you to figure out, okay, well, which system do I try? Which one within a system do I get? So I want to try to make that a little bit easier for you if you've never played any of these, or if you've played the first 3 and you're wondering how these other ones stack up. I'm going to go through that right now. So now to Exit the Game, again, as I mentioned, it's one of my favorite series. You can't go wrong with it, but which one should you start with? Which one's the best? Which one's the worst? All that sort of thing. So let's start with that. I'm going to start with the easiest and go through the most difficult and kind of talk through this with you. I always recommend, if you're going to do the Exit the Game series, now this is through all 6 of them, I would still recommend the first one you try be the Abandoned Cabin. Now this also was the first one, just by chance, was the first one that we played, and it still for me is my favorite one. They've started rating these difficulty levels wise now, and this one is rated at a 2.5 star out of 5. I felt like the challenge of this was perfect for myself and my group. Maybe some groups may have found it too easy, but I don't know, I lean towards I'd rather have something be a little bit too easy and a little bit too hard, but I didn't feel like this was easy. I felt like it was the right one. There were some puzzles that we got right away, there were some that we struggled with, there was even one maybe or 2 that we needed the solution for, so I felt like this was like the perfect beginner set to get into the system, to learn how it works. Plus, I still think that this one had 2 moments during it that to me are still probably 2 of the coolest moments in all 6 Exit the Game series. They're very memorable. We erupted in just craziness when things happened because we just thought it was cool. So I would highly recommend, if you haven't played any of these, pick the Abandoned Cabin first. I think it's going to give you a good first feeling of the series, and it's been my favorite, and it still is, even after playing all 6 of them. The next hardest one I would say is the Secret Lab. Now that one was rated at a 3.5 star. More on that in just a moment. But it was definitely harder than the Abandoned Cabin, but it wasn't too hard to the point where I felt like we were getting beat up. Yes, there were a handful of puzzles that we struggled with. Yes, there were a couple that we had to look at solutions for. But we never got to the feeling that we were consistently being beat over the head with hard puzzles that were just crazy. Or sometimes some of these puzzles get weird and it's like, well, we never would have thought of that. This one was hard, but it wasn't overly hard. The theme was cool, had a lot of different cool things with formulas and chemistry and things like that. So this would be the second one, and it's my second favorite. After that, I would say the next hardest ones were 2 of the ones from the most recent ones. So it was the Polar Station and the Forgotten Island. Now both of those were rated as 3 stars, which is interesting because they back rated the Secret Lab as 3.5 stars. And I actually thought the Secret Lab was easier, not that it was easy, but easier than both of these. I think both of these were very hard for us. They're both about the same difficulty level, and so I put them in sort of their own little tier. So you've got they were just really hard. We struggled a lot. We had to get a lot of solutions. I think we got 2 stars. You get 2 out of 10 stars on these things. Never gotten 10 on any of them. But we scored very badly on both of these. And both of them had moments of coolness, some aha moments, just like you'd want in an escape room game, but both of them were also very difficult. So with that being said, you know, if you've played the first 2 and you thought those were too easy, this would be a good next step, but we found them very hard. And then lastly, you have the hardest ones. Both of these were 4 stars. You have the Pharaohs Tomb from the first set of 3, and then you have the Forbidden Castle from this last set. Both of those were 4 stars. I would say they were both the hardest. They were both probably equally hard. I probably did not like either of them about the same amount. I think they were just too hard for us. And you guys might be amazing at escape room games, and you might be able to just get through this and say, yeah, it was hard, but it wasn't too hard. That wasn't our experience. We thought this was just too hard. And if those were 4 stars, I probably won't even attempt a 5-star one because I just found even the 4-star ones quite frustrating at times. So there you have it. So with all of this, you've got the abandoned cabin first, secret lab second, and then you have the polar station and the forgotten island in the next tier, and then the Pharaohs tomb and the forbidden castle in the last tier. So if you've played any of those already, you should kind of know what you're expecting as you open these boxes and get into it. If you haven't played any of these, then I hope I've laid out a plan of order that I think you should probably go through these, and hopefully this will help you, weed through all of the different games that are out there. This has been the Game Boy Geek, helping you find and enjoy the next board game you'll love.
This video was sponsored by Miniature Market's Review Corner. The Review Corner features podcasts, video, and written game reviews by gamers for gamers. Miniature Market, the online gaming superstore. Thousands of board games, discounted prices. Check them out at miniaturemarket.com.